Hi, I'm Judy Litt. Today I have an approximately 35-minute yin yoga practice. I have a tendency to go a little bit longer when I'm actually making these videos and I'm talking to you and I'm thinking of you as if you're right in front of me. And today we are concentrating mostly on our back and opening our lungs, which is going to open our posture, and also about self-love. We're going to target our lung meridian primarily, a little bit of our large intestine meridian. I'm not a meridian expert, but I can tell you is that the lung meridian is generally associated with fall. Of course, we are in the winter in the northern hemisphere, but it is also physically about warding off respiratory illnesses, so strengthening your immune system. And emotionally, it is about going with the flow, courage, letting go of grief. And these are all things I think that we need in winter. So without further ado, let's go ahead and get to it. You may want a couple of blocks, perhaps a yoga mat, blanket, and come into a tabletop position. If you're using blocks, if you think you're going to be using blocks, go ahead and put them at the top of your mat. Spread your fingers wide. Curl your toes under. Inhale, really press the mat away, coming up into a down dog very briefly, and walking your hands and your feet together and bending your knees a lot. We're coming into what's known as dangling pose in yin yoga. Now, by bending the knees a lot, we're trying to find length in our back, our low back specifically. And part of the intention of this practice physically is to strengthen that low back. Not just the low back, the whole back, really. Begin to let your shoulders really relax. Breathing in and out through your nose, coming to stillness. Yin yoga holds poses for long amounts of time. And we're going for about 3 to 5 minutes per pose in this practice. And we're trying to remain still within those poses until gravity allows us to maybe go a little deeper. And you should feel sensation in these poses, but never pain. And of course, if you have an actual back injury, check with your doctor first, please. Restorative might be a much better practice for you if you have an active injury. Let the head point down towards your mat, relaxing the neck, relaxing the face. And even though we're strengthening the back, you're definitely going to feel this in your hamstrings too. A couple more breaths here. And then press into the mat with your palms and come down to your knees, back into a tabletop position. Shoulders over wrists, hips are over knees. Elbows are just slightly bent, not locked out. And now you may want to grab a block. You might want to even grab 2 blocks. You can always put your hands on the blocks. But what can feel very nice is when we get down into our next pose, which is called melting heart, is to put your forehead on that block. So you're just going to keep the hips right where they are, and you're going to walk your hands out. And you'll probably need to adjust that block. So melting heart is a really good stretch to open up those lungs and breathe deeply. Also a good immune boosting move, working on those lymph nodes and the underarms. And while challenging, you can always put blocks under your hands, raise that mat a little bit, and that makes it just feel a little bit easier. You can always pad your knees with a blanket. And by putting our forehead on this block, or the mat, it's very calming. So one of my other intentions for this practice is practicing a little self-love. I have been chipping away in my backyard on my hilly driveway at the ice that we got on Friday. It is now Monday. And I'm not making a whole lot of headway, quite frankly. It's been very, very cold, so the ice hasn't melted. So I chip away a little bit here, a little bit there. It's a lot of hard work. And I'm showing self-love for that hard-working core by practicing this yin yoga practice. And really feel those moves move out side to side as you inhale. And then come back, kind of the shoulder blades moving towards each other as you exhale. Taking really nice deep breaths here. And this is a pose that can help with posture, can help counter that slouched over posture we get from looking at all our devices. A couple more breaths here. And last breath, inhale, exhale. Begin to push into your palms to raise your head. Go ahead and remove that block, put it off to the side. Bend your elbows, come down onto your forearms, kind of inching yourself towards the top of your mat. Legs are straight out behind you. Shoulders are relaxed back and down. Kind of pushing into those forearms. Just a little bit. In yin yoga, we don't want to engage our muscles because we're not trying to strengthen our muscles. We're trying to strengthen our connective tissue. But we also don't want to be like this and have no muscular engagement at all. We want to be slightly pushing our mat away from us and engaging our core lightly to protect that back. Notice what those shoulders are doing. If they're getting up here by your ears, see if you can relax. Trying to open through your heart. Open yourself to self-love, to emotional love, to romantic love. It is February. Tomorrow will be Valentine's Day, but of course you may not be watching this on the day it's released, but it's released on a Sunday and the following day is Valentine's Day. Now, a lot of people don't like Valentine's Day. They believe it's just a made-up holiday for the cards. I happen to like it. It's my birthday, and it's a big one this year, and I'm going to talk a little bit about that in the vlog that I'm going to link up after this video, I believe. And if you'd like to go a little deeper into the back strengthening, posture correcting, you can press into those hands and slowly straighten those elbows so you're pushing the mat away with mostly straight arms. Not completely. You don't want your elbows locked out, ever. Not good for the elbows. And this is one of those places where we say we don't want to engage muscles in yin yoga, and we don't, but you're going to sometimes, obviously. Your triceps, your upper arms, they're having a little engagement going on right now. There's a seal on your forearms, Sphinx. Opening through your heart, opening through your lungs again. Trying to relax those shoulders, softening that face. Relax those glutes. Go ahead and come back down to your forearms if you've pushed your mat away. Slowly press into your palms and come back up into a tabletop position. Grab your blocks if you think you would like to use them. We are moving into what's called Baby Dragon in Yin Yoga, and you may know it as low lunge. So you may want a folded yoga blanket to pad your knees. I have a couple of mats that works really well too. And you may want those blocks to put your hands onto. Then next inhale, come forward with your right leg. Try and make sure that your knee is over your ankle. And put the blocks next to your foot, on either side obviously. And you put your hands on your blocks. Or you can have your hands down on your mat. It's up to you. This feels nice to me today. Sometimes I don't use blocks. So you are probably feeling this in your low back, certainly in your quads, in the front of your legs, maybe a little bit in your hamstring. See what you can do to just soften all those muscles and come to stillness. Maybe close your eyes. Last couple of breaths. Inhale, push your glutes back. Front leg begins to straighten. Go ahead and just briefly bring that straight out in front of you. Just a little counter pose to that low lunge or baby dragon. And then slowly drag your right foot back into tabletop. Pause, make any movements that you may need to make, moving your hips side to side perhaps, And of course, we're going to second side. So step your left foot forward, comes to about where your blocks are. And baby dragon on the other side. Last couple of breaths. I'm going to press into those blocks to bring your glutes back, straightening out the front leg briefly, and then dragging that front foot back, coming towards the middle of your mat. And you can go ahead and put your blocks off to the side. You probably will not need them for our last few poses. Take your legs out to the side. Bring the soles of your feet to your mat, towards the top of your mat. Very slowly, come down to your back. Straightening out those legs. I'm going to start. Inhale, I'm going to bring my right leg into my chest. I'm going to hold just below that right knee. And on my next exhale, I'm going to let that leg come over the left leg and drop towards the left side. Your arm can be out in T if you have enough room. And this is a pose, actually, if this is uncomfortable for you, you can grab one of those blocks and you can put it under this knee. Just like, depends where you are, what height you need. Just like that, perhaps, maybe at a lower level. One of the nice things about using props in yin yoga is it allows yourself to really let those muscles relax, which is what we're going after. So in this short practice, we have flexed our back, we have extended our back. Now we're twisting that back just a little bit. And the back is actually made to move in all those directions. And when we don't move it in those directions, it gets stiff and we are more prone to injury. Last couple of breaths here. Go ahead and take your hand underneath your knee and slowly come back towards center, knees pointing up towards center. Inhale, lift your hips over to the left side. You might want to have your block within reach. Go ahead and straighten your right foot down your mat. Inhale your left knee in towards your chest. Take your hand just below that knee and gently, slowly bring it across your body. Maybe grab that block and go ahead and let that knee fall onto that block. And this is what I'm talking about by taking your hand out to a T if you have the room. Your head can look anywhere that is comfortable for you. If you'd like to look at your left palm, go ahead and do so. You want to look straight up at the ceiling. You want to look over to the other side. Whatever feels right in your body. There are no absolutes in yoga, or generally no absolutes. See if you're holding tension in your feet and your lower legs maybe. And go ahead and relax them if you can. Again, trying to take the tension out of our muscles so that we can strengthen those connective tissues, which is really what Yin Yoga is about. And it's really what we need, especially as we get older. Another side benefit of this practice is a little work on your digestion, because twists are very good for your digestion. Forward folds, which is what we started out with in dangling, very good for your digestion. And our next move is also going to be very good for your digestion and your elimination, which is important. Last couple of breaths here. And go ahead and take your right hand underneath your left knee, slowly pressing yourself up towards center. Press into the mat with the soles of your feet. Move the block off to the side. And go ahead and heel toe your feet as wide as your mat and let those knees fall in together. And just take a few breaths. And then go ahead and bring your knees pointing towards the ceiling. Inhale, bring one knee into the chest, and then the other. Grab around your shins. Give yourself a great big hug. Try to keep that low back on the mat if possible. Another variation is to take one leg down and have one knee pulled into your chest, or one leg straight down. They all work fine. If you have a bent knee with one leg down, you may even want to put your foot on a block. I'm going to go ahead and give myself a great big hug. This is wind relieving pose, it's called. I'll let you just digest that for a minute. exhale, go ahead and release those knees. Bring the feet back to the mat. Perhaps let the knees fall over to one side, through center, and then over to the other side. Just windshield wipering your hips a little bit. Get the blood moving again. And we are moving into our final pose, Shavasana, corpse pose. Inhale, exhale, take one leg long on your mat, let that foot fall open. Inhale, exhale, stretch out the other leg, let that foot fall open. Maybe first grab any props you need, bolster or blanket, maybe a neck roll for your behind your neck, or a rolled up towel behind your neck, an eye pillow. Palms can face the ceiling or be palm down if you prefer. Taking the time to relax in Shavasana helps you to really integrate this practice into your body. Lets the body be like a sponge and absorb the work that you've done. It also lets you slow down before you end this practice, going out to the next thing in a calm frame of mind. I'd like you to briefly take your hands to your heart, because we are talking about self-love today. And just inhale, exhale a few times, feeling your heart beating, your lungs taking in oxygen, sending it to the rest of the body, turning it into energy. Let that go. Let your arms come down by your side. And continue to let your breath deepen and relax into Shavasana until you hear my voice again. And if you'd like to stay in Shavasana for a longer amount of time, which I really highly encourage, go ahead and pause this video. But if you need to get on with the rest of your day, go ahead and let your breathing deepen without forcing it. Just bringing your attention to your breath. Begin to gently wiggle your toes and your fingers. Soften your forehead, your jaw, your throat. Let your shoulders be heavy. You can begin to stretch your arms up over your head and your legs away from your arms. Big, long stretch. And as you let that go, bring one knee into your chest, and then the other. Press yourself up into a little ball, bringing your head towards your knees. And then let yourself fall over to whichever side feels right for you, stretching the bottom arm out to cradle your head. Take a few deep breaths here. And slowly begin to push into the floor with the palms of your hands. slowly pushing yourself upright into a seated position. I'd like to read you a little bit of a poem from a book called To the Women by Donna Ashworth. I will link up that book beneath in the description. I'm not going to read you the entire poem, but I'm going to read you a couple of paragraphs. The title is Graze the Dimples, the Rolls, the Wrinkles. If you could see what I see now, such beauty carved through time, you'd grieve the years you missed that joy, the tears and wasted time. The graze the dimples, the rolls the wrinkles, don't steal away your light. But the way you talk down to yourself, those harmful thoughts just might. And go ahead and gently bring the palms of your hands together in front of your heart. Rub your hands together, creating a little heat, bringing yourself back into this present moment, and bringing your hands to stillness and prayer in front of your heart, slightly bowing your head over your hands. Thank yourself for coming to your mat today, for giving you this time to practice self-love. Go ahead and slowly blink your eyes open, taking in your mat, the floor, the rest of the room. I hope that you feel as loved, as relaxed as I do right now. Thank you so much for practicing with me. I truly appreciate it. If you like this video, go ahead and click the like button. And if you want to know when new videos are added to this channel, generally Sunday mornings, go ahead and click subscribe. Have a wonderful day. Be radiant, my friends.